MLW has filed suit against WWE because of reasons. No, because WWE was apparently trying to push their weight around when MLW was attempting to get a TV deal. They apparently attempted to strong arm both, from what I've read, Vice and Tubi, saying that Vince would be very upset should either of those companies make any sort of TV deal with MLW. There's a lot going on here. It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, but the more important thing is that somebody's actually trying to take it to Vince, another company is, which I think is very interesting. James, what are your thoughts and opinions on this lawsuit?
Um, I am glad to see somebody taking WWE to court. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. I like seeing them being taken to task for some of their less than honorable business practices. I kind of wish it was anybody but MLW, just because their own guy in charge is probably, like, from everything I've read about this man, is probably like the second biggest carny behind Vince. He himself has done a lot of shady business practices and has done a lot of things to hurt the talent that signs with him and has limited guys from being able to do other things. So, it's like two bad guy, or like the two proverbial bad guys going at it. It's like no matter who loses, I'm not going to be happy with the winner. But I do hope that there's a precedent set here. Just to get into it a little bit, WWE has done everything they can in this instance to stop MLW from getting wider recognition. Anything that could lead to them being on either a network or onto a streaming service, anything that's going to get them more attention, WWE has done a great job of blocking it. And MLW has suffered because of it. Some very lucrative opportunities were taken away or blocked for them. And I do hope they get justice in that regard. I hope any company would get justice in that regard. So, MLW, again, no saint. They've, from like just today or yesterday, Joey Janela tweeted about how MLW specifically made it hard for wrestlers to go work GCW events. And it was after Joey spoke out about something that he didn't agree with MLW. So, that's pettiness that I'm sure Vince McMahon would be proud of. But, it's going to be very interesting to see how this moves forward. And even if the courts side with MLW, I don't know what this really does for them. They might get a nice little payout from WWE, but I don't know if another deal is, the fact that they had two deals offered to them is quite impressive. I don't know if a third deal is coming. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, it should be noted this has been filed as an antitrust suit because WWE attempting to maintain a monopoly on the wrestling world, although that monopoly seems to be showing cracks. Obviously, you have AEW, GCW is coming up bigger, Impact, and now MLW attempting to get into the streaming or broadcast game is another chink in WWE's armor. So should they win, that money could be helpful to help build the brand. But I think you're right, James. I think that the loss of this exposure, whether it be from Vice or Tubi or whatever they were going, is pretty bad. So then, Danny, do you think a settlement here helps MLW recover and maybe get to where they were going a few years back when this was all going down?
I think it's a nice Band-Aid, but I don't think it helps in the future. I think it's more of, a consolation prize. I understand the complexities of the law about as well as Charlie Kelly does. If we're talking bird law, we go tit for tat on that. But, as far as this goes, I don't know too much. So I'm not gonna shame WWE too much. I'm not gonna be surprised to hear that anyone's suing them or they're having any sort of shady business tactics. And even if it's not particularly shady, it's still throwing your weight around and still, bullying smaller companies. And I don't think you need a law degree to see that. So that's not surprising from them at all. But, WWE gets sued all the time. This is like routine for them. They spend a lot of time in court and they have a good law team. And good luck, MLW, or from what James has just told me, no luck, MLW. Whatever happens, happens. Wherever the chips fall, whatever.
Yeah, and to your point about recent lawsuits, I do know WWE did settle with their investors due to them, I believe, misrepresenting the Saudi deal to their shareholders. So they are in court, and they have lost recently. So we'll see where this goes. I'm interested to watch what happens here, just because I think this is the first time, at least to my knowledge, that a wrestling company has gone after WWE in this way. It's, especially when WWE has been throwing their weight around and bullying other companies for so long. And now that it seems they're getting a little bit weaker and possibly even, setting up for acquisition, which seems to be a rumor that's been flying around a lot recently, that MLW is going to go after them and, take back at least some of what they lost by losing one of these TV deals. And hey, possibly now that, this has been brought into the open, maybe they can get one of their deals back. Vice does do things on wrestling. They have Dark Side of the Ring. So maybe they would want to, start showing MLW, or perhaps another company can get a TV deal and they won't be bullied by WWE, because if they do it again, it's going to show a pattern, and, and then that lawsuit's a slam dunk. So depending on what happens here, it could have some interesting ramifications for a lot of smaller brands, and it could have some interesting ramifications for the way WWE is able to conduct itself business-wise in when interacting with other companies.